Hi, I'm Ron.
And I'm Don.
And this is the Ron and Don Show. Thank you for joining us today. Our topic today is standardizing the bid process.
For many years, I was just hated doing bids because it just took all kinds of time to do it right. So I got lazy. And I decided, why don't I just make it one simple form that I could copy and paste eventually. And that standard form started off at the very beginning with the location, the phone number, the hours of operation, the developer limitations or landlord limitations, bid due date, where and when to submit the bids. Then you brought in the work scope details, and they have to be very specific and very accurate. The details would include exactly what you want for product or for materials and or products, and how you want that work done, when you want it done, what time of day is it going to be? Is it an overnight job, or is it something that's going to be done quickly during the day? And the specifications, if you need a treated wood plate, then you put in there treated wood plate. If it's steel studs, steel studs. If you want the pothole to have tack oil around the saw cut area before the new asphalt's installed, then you put in there that you want tack oil, not just some sticky stuff around there. Use the terms that are proper for the industry and make it easy for the contractor to follow what you want to have done. If you know the sizes and dimensions, then put those in there as well. You need to have in there the ops communication details, who's the management, how often you need to communicate with them, the materials storage situation and dumpsters. Can you have them on site, or do they have to be removed that at the end of your work cycle every single day? What are the security procedures that are needed? Just all those details need to be very concisely but precisely installed into that specification sheet.
Well, I can tell you as a career general contractor, I love a standardized bid process, because what that means is that we can put bids together with a clear knowledge and understanding that what we're submitting is for a very specified scope of work. That way we've got provisions. If there's going to be extras, things that are done beyond the scope, we understand how we're to submit the proposal for that. Also, I think it takes into consideration what you were just talking about, work times. You know, there's a lot of disruptive tasks that are done inside of restaurants that frankly are done after hours, not during the day. And it costs more money to work after hours. So I think it's another great example of why it's so important to have a standardized process.
Now, this is a bid specification form, but as you send these folks out looking at this job, it may be a month or two after you have done it, and the scope may have expanded some. So on your actual bid submission form, you need to leave room for them to put in an alternative bid and why that one's different from the one based off of what you sent out. That makes it so that later on we can do apples to apples on the review. Now, the project standardization makes it really easy as we get into the same job that's going to be done in different restaurants. A dish wall upgrade or repair or rebuilding. Well, you're going to use the same materials. It's going to be the same methodology, the whole 9 yards. So you make one form. All you have to do is change the location and a few details within it of how big. Same thing for a sewer line repair. Same thing for parking lot repair, or maybe exterior painting. Or you can build a whole list of ones that are just all ready to go, and all you have to do is fill in the site-specific information. And again, I'm lazy. At the bottom of each one, for a lot of my chains, I had in there just the very specific lines on what our security requirements are. So I just copy and pasted that, and I never had to regenerate it. It was all there. I kept a copy of every specification I ever wrote, so that, oh yeah, I did that over at X location. I just plug it out and reuse it.
And again, from the contractor perspective, I would imagine as a standard cost of entry that you would expect daily tie downs, daily photos, extra work authorization, approvals and justifications, and probably strict adherence to security protocols as well.
Absolutely. That's the best way to lose a general contractor, is if they don't know what the security protocols are. Now you have your bids back, they're standardized, a small spreadsheet and let it flow out a little bit so that you have room to put in the details of why the extra bid is in there, not just the original one, and you keep on going. If you're super busy with lots of projects all over the place and you can't manage that specific job as tightly as you might like, you may find that the cheapest bid is nowhere close to the one you need to use. You need to use the person who understands and has worked for you a lot and can do the work for you and not need your tight management. Whereas if you're bringing in a new contractor and develop them, you're going to have to be there probably a couple of times to lead them during the tricky sessions so they learn the process of that particular brand and your particular needs and specifications.
I'm Ron.
And I'm Don,
This is the Ron and Don Show.
presented by RIFMA.